everyone, and thank you for coming along this afternoon to our How to Prepare for Adulthood virtual session with Sheffield MENCAP. So I'm just going to share my screen quickly just to go through a little bit of housekeeping for today's session. And then I'll be handing over to you guys to hear all about what you offer. So for those of you who haven't been to one of these sessions before, they are essentially all around the theme of preparation for adulthood, but really preparation for adulthood in the broadest sense. So when we're talking about preparation for adulthood here, we're talking about that from the earliest opportunity. So not just what happens in post 16, but what's happening from the earliest years, because we know that's what happens from the earliest years really has an impact on a young person's journey into adulthood. Just some housekeeping. So today's session will be recorded, and you will receive a link to the recording of the session, which will be on our local offer website. You will also be able to see on there all of the other sessions that we've run in this series, so you can catch up on anything that you've missed or anything that's of interest to you. You will see that your cameras and your microphones are muted. If you have any questions or you will have any comments, please just put them in the chat, and we will come to those after the presentation part. So we'll aim to be finishing today on or before 1:30. And I do have a couple of resources and things to share with you all as well, which I will do after our presentation. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And I think everybody's in. I could hear the little beep when I was talking. So Evie, I'm going to hand over to you guys now to share your presentation, and then we will have a chance for people to ask questions in the chat once you finish that. So over to you.
Perfect, thank you. So hi everyone, my name's Evie. I work for Sheffield MENCAP and Gateway, and I'm the carers community support worker. And hello everybody, my name's Kate Brockley. I also work at Sheffield MENCAP and Gateway. I work in the health team here, so my title is kind of a health project coordinator. So I kind of deal with the health services here at MENCAP, and we can go on to that a little bit more later on. And we'll just share our slides, hopefully, if it works. Let's see.
Is it going to let you do it?
I think our sharing's disabled. Yeah.
Right, just bear with me 1 second, because there will be something I need to do.
It's okay.
Right. Just 1 moment. Sorry about this.
Yes, don't be.
I mean, maybe what might be easier is if I just share your slides, because I don't think anybody wants to sit and watch me trying to fiddle around with Microsoft Teams settings. So I've got your presentation here. So unfortunately, is that all right? You'll have to do the next slide, please.
I'll do a different accent per one.
Oh, brilliant. That sounds great. So let me just, if I just share my screen again, just 1 second. And then I'm going to just move it on to your presentation. Is that okay?
Lovely, yeah. Yeah, the second slide would be great. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. So if you haven't heard of Sheffield MENCAP before, we are an independent charity working with children and adults with learning disabilities and autism and neurodisabilities as well, just as a general. We are specific to Sheffield. So while many people do get us confused with kind of the national charity, we are our own independent Sheffield-based MENCAP charity. We just kind of share the name with general MENCAP, the national MENCAP, and we do work quite closely with them as well. But we are not linked. So some people do get quite confused with that concept. So that's kind of why I'm saying that right now. But once upon a time we were formed. It's going to be our 75th anniversary now, back in 1951, by the parents of carers of individuals with learning disabilities. And they brought this together and thought, these individuals need somewhere to go. Back then things were much, much different. And it kind of needed somewhere for them to kind of go and enjoy, have fun, and it's developed over time. So we'll kind of speak that through with you for today. Yeah. Next slide, please. So a little bit about what we did, following on from what Kate said. So we pride ourselves on providing lifelong support. So we can support individuals from naught all the way through to end of life and their carers between that. So we currently support over 700 members across Sheffield, like I said, all the way from naught all the way through to end of life. Next slide, please. And everything that we do is based on our 5 core values, which are community, relationships, independence, confidence, and well-being. So these are at the forefront of all of our groups. We try and encourage people to develop in these areas wherever we can, and whatever that may look like for that individual. Next slide. So this, sorry, no, you're going. Sorry, that's going to get really annoying us saying next slide. So I do apologise. This slide basically gives up a summary of that. We are not just we don't just have a day service here. We have so many different things going on, and it's good to kind of show in different kind of compartments of the different things that we do provide. We're not just adults. We do children, and we do we have our carers as well, and we have kind of our health support service. So it's kind of to show how we have developed, and all we are constantly looking for ways to kind of develop the charity and develop what support we provide for these individuals and for the carers as well. So it'd be really good for you guys to also know, throughout this presentation, hopefully, that we're not just a day service. We provide so much more, and like you said, we are from start to finish kind of thing, which is really useful for you to know. So if we can go on to our children's services, if possible, and I'll let Evie take this on. So as well as supporting the carers, I also do sit on the children's services. So we'll cover these briefly because I know this is preparation for adulthood, but it's always good to know if you're working with anybody else who might have a child that's transitioning up to adulthood but also is younger. So children's services, we have a Thursday and a Saturday, and these are for ages 5 to 17. So we have like a different offering dependent on the day. So all these sessions are self-funded and they're £4 a session. And how it works is you pay for the month. So the lovely Donna will send out the link, and you just pay for that month, because we appreciate that you might not be able to attend all of the sessions, which is why we don't make it termly. But also, if you are facing financial difficulties, then we're more than happy to try and accommodate where we can and put things in place to make sure that your child is still able to access different provisions that are out there. So on a Thursday evening, we have a fitness group, which you actually run. And that's just, again, a place to provide the children opportunity to gain independence, learn a new skill, and meet other children in quite like an energetic environment. And that runs from 5 till 6. And then at the same time, we also have a children's youth club going on, which runs from 5:30 till 7. So there's a slight overlap. So what happens is quite a lot of the children will come to fitness and then head on through to the gateway. And again, that's more like calmer pace, but they have like a sporting activity, quite often table tennis. They're a big fan of table tennis. They try and do baking once a month, and they do quizzes and things like that. And then on a Saturday morning, we have 2 different groups that run. So one's 10 till 11 and one's 11:15 till 12:15. And there's 3 sessions within the group. So there's a drama group, a sporting group, and a creative groups like an arts and craft. And in their sports group, they try and link in with other organisations such as the unis to bring in. So the other week we had Sheffield Eagles in. We've also had like some of the football teams from the unis come in, just to try and like develop people's skills and see what interest they may have and may want to pick up in the future. We have also a SNPs provider, so that's short breaks for the council. So that runs on a Saturday afternoon during term time, and then during the holidays we run on a Monday, Tuesday, or a Tuesday, Wednesday if it's a bank holiday. So that's funded by the council through direct payments. So more than happy if anyone has any questions on that to talk about that later. Just I'm conscious that obviously this is more focused on adulthood, but if you do have any questions surrounding SNPs, we can answer those too. And then next slide, please. That wasn't a different accent. I know, I'm not very good at accents. I'm useless.
All right, don't worry.
So our activity learning hub is basically just our word for the day service that we provide here from Monday through till Friday. It is term times, but during the kind of the summer holidays, we have something called the summer sessions, but I can go on to them a little bit further. But the reason why we've kind of chosen pictures rather than having loads of words on our kind of presentation, it's kind of good to see the different variations of things that we do provide here. So on the pictures, you can see you've got computer rooms, we've got kitchens, we've got kind of art rooms, and that's just the extent of the kind of things that we do provide here from Monday through till Friday. So each day has a different kind of variation of classes going on. So for example, on a Monday, we have like an art group, we have a performing art group, we have a sports group, we have I believe maybe a cooking group, and there's at least 5 different groups per day. Yeah. And in each group, they'll learn a key skill, and they'll usually sometimes be put up for a qualification. So on our art group, our group leader is basically asked the group, we have probably about 8 to 10 people in one group, and they'll say, what would you like to do this term? Is there anything that you really want to learn? Anything that you're really interested in? And it is very much member led. So that group leader will then go back and do some research, try and find a model. It might be AQA, it might be something else. And that's a coursework that is then enables that person to learn that skill and gain a qualification from it. It is really, really good because you see how much effort and how much kind of passion that they put into this beautiful piece of art or beautiful, performance that they've put together. And it really does show how much they kind of care and how much they really enjoy it as well. So that's just one example of kind of one day of, what we do. And that continues throughout the week as well. We have something called a MENCAP. So on a Thursday and a Friday, our cooking group actually cooks for the whole of MENCAP. So our managers, all of our carers, health team, all of the groups during them days will order food from the MENCAP, and we'll kind of sit and eat together. So they'll cook it for us. We'll pay as well because things aren't free. And we'll pay for the food, and then we'll eat and sit together in our coffee bar, which is right behind us, really. Sorry if it gets a bit rowdy as well. It's near into lunchtime, so and the mic props start coming through. And it's really nice kind of to see how much passion that they put into their cooking. I was talking to the group leader today, and she says a lot of people call it work. They say they're coming to work, and I think that's a really, really nice thing to say for them to go, oh, like this to them is basically their day-to-day, what they enjoy doing, and I think that's really nice. So in terms of our kind of activity learning hub, we have so many different things. Each individual is basically asked, what do you want to learn? What do you want to enjoy? And they'll be grouped then in which group would be most suitable, in which they'd most enjoy from that, basically. And that's kind of how it works. And again, like we spoke about them values earlier, each term we kind of assess each individual on how they're doing on that value. So we're looking to, if the person started MENCAP and they was quite shy and didn't really like how busy it was, we'll kind of assess them in terms of, one of our values is relationships. Have they made any friendships? How are they speaking to people? What's their relationship status in terms of, are they engaging with people in the group? And we'll assess them on a level of 1 to 5, and if that's kind of improving. And a lot of the time that they really are. It's really wonderful to see how much that they are coming on in such tiny little leaps and bounds, but it's a really massive difference, really. And it's really, really nice to see. And we've had, when we see new starters here, it's really lovely to see how much they've come on. And some of them don't even like going into the coffee bar. And then next minute you see them sat down and they're in a group of massive people and having a good laugh. I think it kind of shows how, yes, someone might struggle being social, but just taking that little steps one at a time, they can go at their own pace. There's no rush. Anything else that you want to add to that? So just funding wise, if anyone was interested in joining Activity Learning Hub, this is funded by direct payments from the council. So it's part of your social care, adult social care package. So you would speak to your social worker about that, and they'd kind of like assess how much funding you're entitled to. But most of our members, so I don't think anybody comes for 5 days. I think the most somebody does is 3 or 4. So again, you'd look at what the offering was on that day and then kind of decide from that which day you'd like to attend. Like Kate was saying, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday are the days that they try to do more working towards qualifications, and the Thursday, Friday is a more relaxed approach. So again, that might play into what days of the week you attend if you're not really aiming for anything specific, but you just like to be in a nice environment. So that might also be worth knowing if you're advising people on what days to attend or where to start, really, is getting a health and social care package in place. And with regards to the summer sessions, I realised I didn't kind of pick up on that, but the summer sessions is kind of the opportunity for them to get out. So last term, we did lots of trips out to the Peak District. So we went on lots of lovely walks down in Grindleford, they went to Castleton. Even if it's just getting a bus there, kind of getting them used to kind of a bit of travel training, really. We kind of don't call it that, but we do kind of encourage that, you can do this on your own, and we're just there to kind of make sure that they get in there and back. And then they go and have lunch out in the Peak District, or they might go to a local park like Graves Park. Recently they went to go see the new donkey there that they've got down in Graves Park. And just doing little trips like that is also something that we provide here at MENCAP during the summer sessions. So it's kind of, we say, we are term time only, but we also do provide that kind of during summer, that support where they are going out, and we can, we kind of have it where they can, if they don't want to go out, they can stay here, or if they want to, they can go out with our going out group. Next slide, if possible, please. So while we might have our day service Monday to Friday, we also have our evening and weekend services as well. We kind of call this MENCAP Go. This is kind of our new name that we've developed as we're kind of slowly developing our evening and weekend activities. But on a Monday through till Wednesday, we have something called Gateway. Evie is the group lead for our Monday group. And during this time, it'll take place here at MENCAP, but it's more of a social relax. So there's no kind of set activities kind of thing. So that you'll have each week, you'll have this time we're going to do games night, or this time we'll have bingo. This time we'll do karaoke. Each week has a theme, but it's kind of not dissimilar to our day service where it is quite structured and set. Like this is lunchtime. This is then it's group, then it's like break time. Whereas this, it's you kind of just come in and you choose what you want to do. So we have kind of arts and crafts out. We have kind of a bar where they can get drinks and snacks and stuff. Non-alcoholic. Yeah, sorry. Coffee bar. They're able to do a bit of cooking, so they can pay to what did you make? Was it
they made bread and butter pudding this week, which to people that like bread and butter pudding looked amazing. To me, not so much. But they're self-funded as well. So for Gateways, it's again £4 a session, but unlike the children's services, it's pay as you go. So they pay at the door to come in, and then if they want to bake, it's an extra £2 because we have to buy in all the ingredients. But they do take home like a full serving of bread and butter pudding. It's not like rations. So that the other week they made quiche and they made a whole quiche.
Yeah.
So it's worth the money, really. And they're learning, like I said, with the core values, they're learning independence. They're in the kitchen. They're learning how to make things from scratch. So a lot of people do quite like baking. Quite often there's like 10 people that bake a night. So it really is. So that's kind of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday evenings. Aside to our Gateway services, we also have a Saturday bowling group. Apologies, that's my phone. We have a Saturday bowling group. We have a walking group that's monthly. And we have kind of our evening going out group. This is called Liberated Ladies, where we have a group of ladies that basically just choose where they want to go. They go out for some food, go out for some drinks, and a member of staff will be there, a couple of members of staff to kind of just be with them and just have a nice natter in a nice pub, really. I believe that's monthly as well. Again, this is self-funded, and you can pay, I believe, for
is it the term, or do they pay each? I think they pay each time, don't they? And that allows basically for the transport there, and the for the meal that they'd have to then pay for themselves during the meal. Again, we're coming back to the values. All of this is building on that independence, building on that community and that relationships. An individual doesn't have to be the social butterfly to come to this group. It's absolutely fine for you to just kind of just be able to be there and enjoy it. We don't expect you to sit there and have an hour conversation with us. Happy for you to just kind of sit there and enjoy your meal. And if if you want to have a natter, that's what we're here for, kind of thing. Other than that, our bowling, that was really, really popular at the moment. We have quite a big group of bowlers. I believe it could be up to 20 people in a group. It takes place down at Entertainment. And I think they have a few games of bowling, and then they go for a meal down at Entertainment as well, which is quite popular. The walking group, I think that one's been going for a little while. Quite a fairly big group as well. Again, they choose which walk they want to do. They do a different walk. They suit it to everybody's needs, of course. Some people are really fast, some people are really, take the time a little bit. That's absolutely fine. It's suited to the individuals that are coming on those groups, basically. Our sports groups, sorry. So our evening and weekends, we also provide sports groups. So we've got cricket, we've got our fitness that I run. So I run the kids' fitness, which is what Evie mentioned earlier, but our adults' fitness as well. Our adults' fitness is quite a big group. We can get up to 30 individuals on one night. I guess that's kind of a reflection of how fun and popular it is in a way. So each week we'll do a different activity. We do hockey, football. It's kind of dependent on what they enjoy. And we'll do like training. So we'll do skills building. So, some people wouldn't know how to hold a cricket bat. So kind of showing them how to hold it. And the support that's available for them there is kind of good for them building the skills. Again, same again with the cricket, showing them the kind of skills development and getting them into a game as well. Anything else other than, I think that's covered. So I think that's it. So sometimes on the Monday snooker group, they do actually go out and about. So on next week, they're meeting up and going somewhere off-site. So sometimes they'll do stuff at Steelers and things like that. So it's also key to note that even though sometimes they are based on site, they do have opportunities to go out and about in the community and go somewhere else too. But quite a success story really for the snooker group on a Monday. We had a younger individual who was really shy, didn't really want to engage in many groups, so started coming to that group on a Monday. It was recently their birthday, and some of the members from that group ended up going to their birthday with their family. So it is, like Kate was saying, it does attest to how warm the environment is here and how it does encourage relationships outside of just coming here. You can meet them outside of, the day services or the evening groups that you're already here for. But I noticed we had a question, and I just thought because it was relevant to this slide, I might as well answer it whilst it's here. It said about having a one-to-one support with the bowling group. I believe that if you are one-to-one, then we ask you to bring the one-to-one support. So if you have a PA or anything, I'm sure they're more than welcome to attend with you. But I don't think staffing wise, because of how large a group can be, I don't think they are able to provide one-to-ones. It would be you'd have to come with one. And I'm not too sure how long the session is, but that's definitely something we can find out and send over, because like we said, with them being quite a lot of people, I'm not sure if it depends how many's there that week on how long a game of bowling might take. So we can definitely find that out for you. Look into that for you, no problem. And then next slide, please, Maria, if that's okay. So this is our carer service, thank you. And this is what I predominantly sit on at the minute. So like I said, from naught to end of life, we support carers throughout. Something that's key to know, if your child or child adult doesn't attend our services, you're still welcome to access our support. So even if you could approach us completely about something completely different and your child doesn't attend here, and that's okay too. We acknowledge that not every provision is going to be suitable for everybody, so that shouldn't stop you from accessing the support that you need at that time. So we have a weekly offering. So on a Tuesdays, we have the parent and toddler group, which was from 0 to 5, and it's a completely free group where You can just come and play. We open up the sports hall, we get some of our like mats out, we have a little climbing frame, get some of our toys out. And that doesn't have to be SEN or learning disability specific. That's open to everyone 0 to 5. On a Wednesday, we have a carers group, which is typically where we get our older carers who have been coming here for years and years. And they just like to have a catch up. It just provides them a safe environment to have that catch up and touch base with each other. It also, because their children are of a similar age, they might be like going through similar stages of life where they transition into different things. They can also advise each other, more peer support. On a Thursday evening, so this takes place when our children's services and adult services are on site. So the carers group starts from 5 and runs all the way through till 7:30 when the adults fitness finishes. And this one, we try to bring in like other organisations. So we've had preparation for adulthood in. We've had last week we had someone come in to talk about wills and trusts and powers of attorney, which was quite a popular one, specific to those with LD and how it may look different to everybody else. We've had Sendias in. So things like that. We try to have workshops in so that you can meet the people that you might be emailing and not getting a response from, but you can ask them those questions there in person and get the answers that you need. But also other weeks it will just be sat chatting with other people, just, you know, supporting each other, just having a catch up, you know, not related to your care and responsibilities. And we also have like wellbeing sessions. So there's a lovely lady called Jo who comes and does inclusive yoga, which is again an opportunity for carers to not have to take in any more information. They can just relax. So they're coming again in March because it was such a popular session where carers, I just enjoyed having the time to just switch off. You know, you don't really get a lot of time to do that. So doing that whilst your child is in a safe environment, knowing that they're being looked after by the staff and engaging with other children gives you the opportunity to switch off and enjoy something like that. And then on a Saturday morning, we have, again, like I said, children's services on site. So I provide more one-to-one drop-in support. So for individuals that can't access us through the week due to like work commitments or school drop-offs and pickups, they're more than welcome to have like a one-to-one drop-in on a weekend. And again, sometimes we do have other people come in. So Parent Carer Forum runs some groups on a Saturday from our site. So sometimes our parents will go through to that. We've had Lucy from Family Hubs come in and deliver a session on sleep support. So again, if there's something that a lot of parents are going through that are struggling with, we try and support them where we can. And then throughout the week, there's another lady called Emily who works on a Monday, and she deals with the more like complex ongoing cases. So if a parent's really struggling, doesn't know where to start, and then once they've got that starting point, needs ongoing support, Emily can provide that for you. Whereas I can support you if it's more like application support or like an immediate response. You might just say like, I need support with, I don't know, a therapist. I can just signpost you to some therapist that might be relevant to you. And then if you've got any issues, I might be able to answer that. And then if it becomes an ongoing thing, I'd then signpost you to Emily, who has the time to set aside weekly catch-ups and things like that. So it is very tailored to the individual. Like I said, very supportive environment. Parents advise a lot of peer support going on, and it's just a lovely environment, really. We try to do like get-togethers, not parties, but we did one for Halloween and we did one for Christmas, where on a weekend everyone came on site. We did hot food, bingo, things like that, and activities for families. So it wasn't just for the carer and the person they cared for; the whole family could get involved, and just providing an opportunity for an inclusive environment, really. And then that's it for our carer services. Okay.
Oh no!
Sorry. 1 second. Nudge. Hello. Sorry. 1 second. Nudge.
Don't worry.
Yeah, thank you. Say bye. Thank you. Have a nice day.
I love you.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. The more
time. Everyone's
the
coming
more
through.
the merrier. Yeah.
But yeah, ready for next slide if that's all right, please, Maria. So this is our health service. So this is basically my work that I do throughout the week. I'm not sure if you're aware of kind of the health services that are available to those with learning disabilities, but an individual with a learning disability is entitled to an annual health check yearly from the age of 14 plus. So if you're kind of, I can imagine that during this time it's a transition from kind of Sheffield Children's Hospital and going into kind of the GP surgeries. is quite a daunting time. We do kind of have a lot of parents who are talking about the kind of the differences between moving from children's health services and to adult health services. So that's why we kind of included this, because it's useful for you guys to know kind of what is available out there. But the kind of the annual health check is so important, and I kind of recommend any parents and carers and individuals with learning disabilities to access it. And I think that's kind of where our role came from in the health services, because people weren't accessing their annual health checks, wasn't kind of sure what it was and what it did. And I think that's really important for us to kind of show people, no, you know, even if you are feeling well in yourself, it's really good opportunity for a GP to kind of check you out head to toe. It's kind of a human MOT, so they do blood work, they do physical observations, they review all medications. Does that individual need to be on that medication? Does an individual, you know, is there anything that's been flagged from the physical observations? That's, you know, have they got high blood pressure? You know, it's stuff that we might not see ourselves, or an individual with a learning disability might struggle to notice in themselves and talk about it. So it allows the doctor to actually go, well, I've noticed this, and it could be a reason why this individual is reacting this way, or an individual might be upset because they've actually got this high blood pressure and they've probably been feeling really dizzy or really kind of tired. So it does explain a lot of things, and it allows then, you know, you as carers and these individuals to maintain it, because they do experience quite a lot of health inequalities, which is really, you know, really sad. And that's kind of what we're here for as MENCAP, is to reduce these health inequalities. And that's what our support is. We kind of support with access into kind of primary care, which is the kind of GPs, and then secondary care, which is kind of your hospital appointments, your screening appointments. There's so many people with learning disabilities are not given access to their screenings. And we need to make sure that, you know, we need to know why they're not attending and support them getting there. Other kind of health services that we can provide here at Sheffield MENCAP is we do a healthy eating and lifestyle course. So we're funded by More Life, and part of this is education around healthy eating and kind of maintaining a healthy lifestyle. This is quite a popular course. We've got a waiting list building at the moment, and we've got last time we had about, I think it was about 15 individuals. So they're not massive groups. They're not kind of really intimidating. We kind of like to keep the groups as low as possible, so it can be a little bit more like one-to-one. It's an 8-week course, and we kind of educate around what is healthy eating, what even is it, why do we need to be healthy, what is the reason for it, kind of what is sugar and what's in sugar, because simple things need to be broken down just so we can get that slight understanding of, oh, actually that bottle of Coke is the reason why I'm feeling really rubbish right now and really tired, and you know, I've got the shakes, or the reason why my teeth might be going a different color. It's letting them make them connections themselves by giving them the information in appropriate ways. I developed this course myself, so I've kind of really used colourful and picture materials. So nothing that you see in the healthy eating course is very wordy. It's kind of broken down. It's kind of like pictures, but then like a little simple explanation next to it. And then if the individual, you know, it needs a little bit more information, then we do have that information available there for them. I'm not saying that if it's got pictures, then that's all they'll get. You know, they'll get the information as much as they kind of are ready for. We use activities, so to kind of learn about cholesterol and the effects of cholesterol. I use kind of like tubes, and we use Play-Doh, and I get the individuals to kind of put the Play-Doh into the tube, and then we pour kind of water through it. And the idea of that is to kind of show that when our heart builds up cholesterol, this is what's happening around our heart, and that's why the blood can't flow back through. And they remember it every single time. I say, you know, what they might ask the same question of, what is cholesterol? I can't remember what that is. And I go, do you remember the yellow sticky stuff I showed you? And they go, oh yeah. And it did, the water stopped the water from flowing. I'm like, perfect, you've got it, kind of thing. And throughout time, I'm not expecting them to understand that session straight away here and then, but then next week they might go, we do kind of goal setting. So I'm like, what happened with the goal? What kind of changes did you implement? It's a really great course, and it's really popular with our individuals that attend here at MENCAP as well. And we've kind of signposted all this course out to GPs as well. So if you see a GP kind of talking about it, it could be the course that we're talking about here as well. I've seen a couple of questions, so I'm just going to answer some of the questions that you've got, if that's okay with you.
That's great, thank you.
So yeah, basically you could just go to your GP if he's on the learning disability register. So if an individual has just autism and not a learning disability, and unfortunately they're not entitled, it is currently just for learning disabilities. But yeah, you can just go for a GP, and if he's not on the learning disability register, then he should be. I think that's something that's quite commonly missed off, is that, you know, someone might have changed GPs and it's not been transferred over, and they might, even though they might have a learning disability, it might not be recorded. So just having that chat with your GP and asking if he's on the learning disability register, then he should be getting his annual health check each year. But I'm happy if you want. Sorry, go on.
Sorry, just for the sake of the recording and anybody who's watching afterwards. So the question was about access. How do you access the annual health check through the GP that's available for people with learning disabilities? But Evie, I just wanted to pick up on what you said about the distinction between having a diagnosis of autism and then being on the learning disability register. I mean, I don't know if you, like, what's the distinction, what's the difference, because I feel like that's something that I don't know
So
a lot about.
But yeah, usually you should get a diagnosis of a learning disability, or usually you get diagnosed when you're younger, so it'll be when you're before 18. So it's more of a struggle to get a diagnosis of a learning disability from 18 plus. Not saying you can't, but it's more of a struggle, where it's more, you might be on a waiting list. I know some people are under Reigate and waiting for it on a long time, waiting for that kind of.
Yeah.
But yes, it's kind of should happen kind of through children's services under Reigate. But I understand that things are really long waiting times at the moment. And then autism, you kind of just, it depends on, when you are diagnosed. Some people get diagnosed later in life. That doesn't mean they didn't have it when they were younger. It's just that they've just not kind of recognized themselves yet, or someone's not kind of recognized for them. So you can kind of get a diagnosis of autism throughout life. That doesn't mean you can't for a learning disability, but it's more commonly that you will get diagnosed before the age of 18.
And that's through the sort of NHS services that diagnose ADHD or autism. They also provide that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh. I hope that cleared it up a little bit. It's kind of like a tricky area, the diagnosis of a learning disability in particular, just because when you're kind of at 18 plus, it kind of diminishes the access out there, which is, it's not okay. It's, but no. Yeah, and I can do a little bit more research on, if you are looking into that. Happy to do a little bit more research in for you.
Thank you, Evie. Or it's Kate, sorry. No, just because I could see Evie on the screen.
No, don't worry.
There's a question here about resources to support young people with the significance of maintaining good dental hygiene.
Yeah, super important. So I can, absolutely. I've got lots of different resources available for you. Lots of pictures, or I've got a video. There's lots of things on YouTube. If you kind of just search in like dentist and learning disability, it kind of does different videos per treatment, and it kind of talks through what kind of happens at that appointment. And I think that's really useful for these individuals, because they might not be able to picture how a dentist appointment will go. It's kind of that executive functioning of, well, I don't know what's going to happen next, and we're all scared of doing something new. So the video kind of takes that little bit of fear away of, right, so this is what's going to happen. You're going to go into the office, we're going to sign in, then we'll go into a different room. You might sit on this kind of chair and use these kind of tools, and that's what the video does. So I'm happy to absolutely send some of that across to you. And we have easy read resources as well. So these are, what by easy read, it's kind of like pictures and not too much words. and there's lots of different versions of those, and it's also
Oh,
they do it per
brilliant.
treatment as well, which is really good. So
Oh,
I'll
brilliant.
send
Yeah.
that across to you, Maria.
Yeah. If you could send those things across to me, and then I will share them far and wide with everyone who's signed up for
Absolutely.
today. That would be really good. Thank you.
But yeah,
Um,
dentist is a really popular one, really. I supported one just this morning of getting to a dentist appointment, and was able to access the support that she'd not been able to in a very long time. So
oh,
yeah,
that's
it's
so good.
real.
Yeah, because I mean, not many of us are fans of the dentist, are we? Let's be honest.
Absolutely.
That's great. Do you want me to go on to the next slide?
Yeah, if you could please. This is more so a big shout out to our volunteers, and another way that if you're wanting to get involved, you can. So all of our services have volunteers involved, and we wouldn't be able to do half of what we do without our volunteers. So that's something that sometimes people might not be able to access our services, but they might want to get involved another way, and that's one way to do that. And also fundraising. So, like Kate mentioned right at the beginning of the presentation, whilst we have the same name as National MENCAP, we're not affiliated with them at all. So we do all our own independent fundraising. We do like events. So we have like a summer day and things like that where we try and fundraise as much as we can to help fund some of our services. So like we were saying at the minute, most services are pay as you go, but it means that you can do it as you pay as you go rather than pay for the term because you're less financially reliant on the individuals attending. So yeah, these are two key ways that our services can run basically through our volunteers and through our fundraising effort. So next slide, please. And then this really is just all of our contact information. So if you have any like general inquiries, the office email, which is the second one down underneath our phone number, is probably the best place to go. And then they then send it off to the relevant team. So if it's health related, it'll get forwarded to Kate. If it's carers related, it'll get sent to me. And then so on and so forth. That will get sent to the right place basically. And then because we have specific project emails, which I don't believe are on there. So your best bet is to go through the generic office and it'll get sent to the right project. And again, you know, we've put our address on there. We are based in the S2 area. We're right off the back of Norfolk Park. Please do come and take a visit, come take a look around. We offer free tea and tours. If you do want to come and have a look around, have a cuppa and an atta, and you know, you're more than welcome to. We're happy to kind of show anybody. And like you said, you know, even if MENCAP's not the right place for you, Evie's happy to kind of support you with, well, let's have a look elsewhere then. But you know, if this is not suitable for your kind of child or who you care for, then we're happy to kind of support with what else is available for you then. For definite. And it's also something that we forgot to mention. So for all of the evening services, the children's services, so how they work is you apply for an application form. So it's on the website somewhere, but if not, if you email that email, you'll be sent one over relevant to that specific session, and you fill it out. And how it works is you arrange a come and try session. So it's a free trial, so you don't pay for that session. You arrange a date that's convenient for yourself and your child. You then turn up, your child gets to have a run around the building, see what everything is. You know, they can kind of stay for the whole session. You stay on site. Like I said, if it's a Thursday or a Saturday, there's a carers group, you're more than welcome to sit in there. If it's some of the evening sessions, so like a gateway, for instance, sometimes PAs bring them, sometimes parents drop off, because it's adults, so it depends on the need of the individual. And then, yeah, from there, if they like it, they're more than welcome to attend from the week after, £4 a session. And if they don't like it, so an example that I use for children's, if they come to the kids' fitness and they don't get on with it, you're more than welcome to then have a free trial for the youth club. And then again, if the youth club's not suitable, you're more than welcome to have a free trial on the Saturday morning. We're not just going to say because you've had a free trial for one specific session, you can't access the other ones, because we appreciate in this area that it's not going to be suitable for everyone, and we want the best for you and your child. So we want you to be able to find something that suits. And like Kate was saying, if it's not here and it's not with us, we'll happily signpost something that is relevant. So if your child likes animation, we would then signpost to Fly Cheese because that's their specialty. So we wouldn't want you to feel like you had to attend our services. We can support elsewhere if they come and it's not for them. So that we have a question. We can rest back options on it.
Do you want me to? I can read the question out for you if you want. So are there any weekend respite options only for a few hours for a young person about to turn 18, has got Down syndrome and severe learning difficulties, tried Burton Street Club, but they've not got any availability now?
So I think this is a difficult one because, as Kate said earlier, once you transition to 18, you start transitioning to the adult services, and this is where it becomes quite difficult. So we don't currently have any respite options for adults. Like I said, SNPs is the only respite service really that we offer, and that's short breaks, and that's for children. But if that is something that you are looking for, please do get in touch, and we can try and find some for you, and we can definitely send them over to you. So
Yeah.
like I said, if you email either the generic one on there or Marie, if you'd like to pass on our contacts, we're more than welcome to do that too, and we can try and find you some support where we can. But unfortunately, we don't offer any adult respite service options on a weekend.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. And yeah, absolutely. If like, I'm more than happy to pass on your email addresses, but also I can Gwari, if I'm hopefully pronouncing your name correctly, you're very welcome to get in touch with me as well, and I'm happy to signpost you to kind of adult social care services in Sheffield as well, because we do know and understand how difficult it can be to navigate what is a very complex system. So yeah, very happy to offer support with signposting. Is there anything else, Evie and Kate, you wanted to add to your presentation, or have you covered it before we ask some questions?
I think we're all done from our side. So just if anybody
Great.
else has any questions, more than happy to answer where we can.
Yeah, so if anyone has any questions, please just pop them in the chat. I mean, thank you for your presentation. It was super, super informative, and I feel like I learned a lot.
It was a very
And
whistle-stop tour, sorry.
oh no, it's great. And I think, one of the things for me that is really great to see is just that culture of lifelong learning that you have within your service, and that culture of enablement, because that's, I think, one of the things, we really want to promote and help people to understand that, what you imagine a day service or a kind of social care provision to look like isn't necessarily what the reality is, and it isn't also, it can form part of someone's life, it's not necessarily all of their life as well. So yeah, really good to see that we're kindred spirits on the same page. I'm going to stop sharing your slides for a second. I just have one question. I can see Craig's got one in the chat, and Caitlin is typing, so I will come to those in a second. But one of the things that you mentioned was about how people are usually with you for 3 or 4 days of the week rather than 5 days. And I know, especially in those early stages of adulthood, when young people have come from education where parents are used to it being 5 days a week, sometimes there's an anxiety about what happens on those other days. So it's fine if there isn't an answer to this, but I just wondered if you supported young people or their families around what they could be doing on those other days, or if you had any examples of maybe other things that young people were doing on those other days of the week. That would be really, I think, helpful for people to hear about.
I'm going to say quite often. So, for instance, one individual I can think of comes to our services 3 days a week, but the other 2 days they go to other adult social services. So they might go to Burton Street, they might go to the Hive, the Hub. So it might be that they only come to us for 2-3 days a week, but they're accessing another service for the other days, or some of them volunteer depending on that individual's needs and abilities. Some of our adult members do volunteer at places like British Heart Foundation, St Luke's, things like that. So I think it really is dependent on the individual. So we're not saying that you can't have access to provisions for 5 days a week. It's just that they try to do it where you're not reliant on one specific provider for that 5 days. So it might be that you access other places too. So you've got a bit of variety of that individual as well, because like you said, you doesn't want to feel like school. You want them to know that they are an adult and they've transitioned out of school. So going somewhere 5 days a week from 10 to 3, it will feel kind of samey, and they get to meet more people that way. They get to be around a different set of staff members, a different set of members themselves. It gives them an opportunity to make more friendships and develop their independence. And each service provides each different kind of opportunities and skill developing as well. I mean, there's so many varieties of what each individual does here. Sometimes they might have a PA for 2 days and come here for 3. Sometimes they might have a PA for 1 day and come to MENCAP for 1 day and go to Enable for however many days, for 2 days. So it is, like you said, dependent on the person and dependent on what they want to do. We do have a lot of members who do have a PA and they might only do that for a couple of days and then they'll come here for the rest of the week, and that's absolutely fine, because then that PA then enables them to kind of get out in the city then and kind of, oh, we're going to go to Meadowhall today, or I'm going to do some shopping, or and I've got actually this paperwork that I need filling out, and can you help me do that? And that's what PAs are there for. So 100%, you know, that's the access that's available to them. And social care is, you know, it can support you in so many ways. You just have to be on at them.
Yeah. Great. And Craig's asked, Craig is a supported employment job coach in Opportunities Sheffield, and wondering if you could arrange to meet outside of this meeting to discuss creating a referral pathway, because that sounds like a really good thing.
Sorry, we're just having another read, but yes, absolutely, we'd be more than happy to meet with you, Craig. Sorry, we didn't answer that question then. I believe we might have met you before. I think you might have spoke to someone called Jonathan. Yes. I don't think you can say yet. Oh, you can.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, so I'm in a coffee shop, so I might.
I'm very sorry.
For a latte, getting. Yeah, I think I've mentioned. Yeah, I work with neurodivergent people and people with learning needs and learning disabilities, and we've got a few case loads where they just need that extra support. Did you say they need to have that social pathway, like payment in place to access your support, or how does it fully work?
Yes, they'd need a social worker to kind of set up that the payments to come here. Yeah. I think it's just a social worker that would then set up a payment plan in terms of what they're accessible to as well, how much they kind of have access for, and is part of their adult social care package.
Right. Okay. That's great. And do your clients like want to like go into further work away from yourselves and do you know about our service about supporting people into work?
I think it's very dependent on the individual. So quite a lot of our members are on the older side. So they've some of them worked previously and now come to a day service. So they're like past that. Some of the younger ones, I think it's not on their radar, but I think they feel more comfortable in voluntary sector. But it's definitely something that we can discuss with them to make sure that they are aware of what opportunities and organisations are out there and the support that they can get in work, because I think they see work as quite a scary thing. Yeah. So, you know, it would be good to show them that, you know, there are people out there that can support them and it's not as big and scary as it may seem. And as part of my kind of health role, I'm quite I bash on about Opportunity Sheffield quite often, really, because I know the kind of the CV building that you do and the skills building is really great as well. So kind of during our health work, we might have someone who gets a referral into our health and they kind of do want to start work, and I'll go, well, you know, here's Opportunity Sheffield, and I will do a referral for them. So, you know, potentially having that referral pathway even to our health or carer services, you know, would be great, really. Yeah.
Well, I'm very happy to connect you
all
up after this session, to make sure that you can carry on that conversation.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Craig. And then Caitlin asked a similar thing. She also said she used to volunteer for Sheffield MENCAP and seeing firsthand the wonderful work that you do and your volunteers do. So a big thank you.
That's lovely. Thank you.
And she's asking if you have like a favourite success story of someone who joined a programme and went on to develop specific skills or progressed into further qualifications or employment.
Oh, I feel like we'll have to ask. I'm sure there will be. I mean, definitely. We've been told about one of our members here really enjoys playing football, is really, really good at football. Oh, yeah. And the other day, on Sunday, actually, he was chosen to, was picked to become, was it National MENCAP? Like something to do with like England football and National MENCAP, something like that. So they've been they did a trial and they've been called up. and they attend our day services. They attend quite a lot of our social groups on an evening.
Yeah.
So they're like heavily involved. Again, they volunteer outside of coming here. That's what they do on their days that they're not here. And yeah, and they've been successful in their trial.
Yeah,
really.
I believe it was out of 60 people nationally, he was picked to play for the MENCAP and the national England team, which is incredible.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah, it's really good to see him. And he was so excited about it.
Yeah, I'm going to say came on each staff individually to show him all the pictures and the speech. It was really lovely. Yeah, he's really proud of himself, and we're all really proud of him too.
Oh, that's so lovely. Well, if you do have any case studies as well, like written or videos or anything like that, please share them with me, because that's always something that, you know, I can then share on your behalf, you know, just so people kind of understand like what these, you know, what these fantastic offerings and services you do can do for people. So yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries at all. And Craig, you've got your hand up again.
Yeah, another volunteer slide. What you've got
Yes.
is that a young chap called Gabe? Did he come through you?
Oh, I can't remember the picture on the slide. Sorry.
But if it is him, he's come with us and we've just got him a job, and I'm fairly sure it is him. So that's a success story.
That is a success story.
I'm pretty sure it is him. We've just got him a job. He's a lovely guy, lovely chap. He might have. Yeah. So we may be able to share that story if it is that young person.
Yes, absolutely. I think we know who you mean now. I think.
And so I can't remember the picture on the slide, but if it's who I'm thinking of, it sounds about right for that individual.
And he's doing absolutely incredible. It's been an absolute pleasure to have here. So that's brilliant. Yeah,
that's really good. Well, that's what we want to hear. You know, it's all those stories that I think help families and help young people to feel more hopeful about the future, and to not feel like there is this, what always gets described as a cliff edge. You know, we don't want families or young people to feel like that. It's not as straightforward as it is, you know, going through school, but there is lots of support available. I think that's always the message that we want to share. So thank you so much. That was so good, Kate and Evie, really informative. We've all learnt loads. I'm just going to pop a link to a little feedback form in the chat. I'd be really grateful if people could share some feedback on today's events, because it really helps us to be able to do more of these things. So we'd be very, very grateful of your feedback. We'd also be really grateful to hear any suggestions of other organizations or, you know, people that you would like us to invite to come and share here. So I'm just going to put the link to that in the chat and stop waffling for a second, hopefully.
And yeah, if anyone has any
respond.
Please do.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, absolutely. So I will be sharing around the slides. I will be sharing a recording as well, and some notes of today's session that kind of helps to summarize everything. But before everybody goes, I just want to share a couple of things which will hopefully be useful. So I'm going to try and share my screen again. So as I mentioned at the start, for those of you that were here might remember, this is part of a series of events that we've been running online that are all recorded. They're all on our local offer website, so you can go back and watch them at your leisure. But the event from today will be uploaded in the next few days as well. So please make sure that you check out the page on our local offer with the events all listed, and I will share that in the chat, but I'm not going to do that while I'm sharing my slides, because I feel like I might end up in some kind of technical mayhem again. So we don't want to do that. All of the sessions that we have planned are available to book through Eventbrite. I'm going to share that link as well for you. Just so you know, the next one is coming up on the 14th of April, and that one is with Sheffield College, and they're going to talk about their Bloom curriculum, which is their high needs offer that's available at their Peaks campus. And then we have a session, Craig, as you're here, on the 22nd of April with Opportunity Sheffield. So there's a few more planned for this academic year, and we will keep running with them as long as people keep coming and keep wanting to hear about what's available. And then the last thing I wanted to mention, which is our post-16 guide for young people. So this is something that is a project that's been ongoing for about the last 18 months. We had a pilot version, and we've just released the first full official version of this guide. And essentially what it is the post-16 education offer in the city at level 2 and below. So it is for any young person who isn't going to pass their GCSEs, and I don't really like saying that term, but anyone whose path into post-16 education isn't that well-trodden route. This is for everyone else and includes all of the offer from our specialist providers, but also the offer just generally that's available from entry up to level 2. It is organised by career path, so you can pick animals or engineering or hair and beauty, whatever your interest area is, and it will tell you what programs are available, what the entry requirements are, and more information about careers in that area. So I'm also going to share a link to that in the chat as well for you. It's available on our local offer website that I mentioned before. So please do check it out. Please do share it as well with anybody that who might be interested in that. It's a big effort from all of our education providers and everybody to bring all of that information together in one place. So yeah, please do share and take a look at it, and as well share any feedback that you have and how we can make it better for our future editions. But that's it for today. So if nobody else has any questions, we're 2 minutes over, but I think that's pretty good going. If no one else has any questions, then we'll leave it there, and thank you everybody for coming along. All right.
Thank you for having
Thanks,
us. Thank
Kate.
you very
Thanks,
much.
Evie.
That was useful.
See you later. Bye.
Thank